On the shore of a beach, a young girl named Mia stares out at the ocean all by herself, as if she has a special connection to the water. Years later, now a teenager, she moves to a new city with her parents because of her father Michael's job. At her new school, a girl named Sophie tries to befriend her, but Mia quickly turns her down. Mia, meanwhile, tries to get closer to the group of popular girls led by Gianna, although none of them pay much attention to her. When she gets home, Mia's mother, Gabriella, asks how her first day at school went, but the teenager doesn't want to talk and locks herself in her room. Her mother keeps insisting until Mia loses her patience and pushes her off the bed. Although she immediately regrets it and helps her back up, Michael ends up scolding her when he returns home. Her parents assume that her behavior is simply because of adolescence. However, something strange happens that same night. Mia can't sleep, and suddenly she develops an intense craving for salt water. Without knowing why, she pours herself a glass and drinks it, then tries to make sure her parents don't notice. The next morning at school, their teacher asks the students to choose the destination for their next field trip. Following the popular students, Mia votes for Conneland, a famous amusement park, once again trying to get closer to them. Her persistence finally pays off, and Gianna invites her to her house along with her friends Vivi and Nellie. There, Mia notices that Gianna doesn't have a very good relationship with her father. When Gianna asks him to sign the permission slip for the trip, he does it without even asking any questions. Afterward, Gianna gathers the girls in her room and suggests a rather dangerous game. The idea is to squeeze someone else's neck until they are on the verge of passing out, causing them to experience a kind of hallucination. Vivi and Nellie don't want to participate, but Gianna convinces Mia. The teenager begins squeezing her new friend's neck until Gianna nearly loses consciousness. When she finally catches her breath, she claims that the experience was fun. Now Mia is curious and decides to try it herself. But just as she is about to pass out, she begins having strange visions of the ocean floor. The images terrify her, and as soon as she regains consciousness, she runs all the way home. When she arrives, she hears the sound of the aquarium. Then she feels another inexplicable urge and, without thinking, grabs one of the fish and eats it. As soon as she realizes what she has done, Mia feels sick and rushes to the bathroom. A short while later, her mother appears and asks if she is okay, but the teenager tries to hide what happened and quickly locks herself in her room. The next day, Mia meets up with Gianna, Vivi, and Nellie again, and the girls plan to go shopping at the mall. Inside a store, Gianna starts stealing makeup products, and her friends follow her example. To prove that she belongs in the group, Mia also takes an item and slips it into her pocket. But just as they are about to leave, a security guard discovers the theft and starts chasing them. The girls split up to escape, while Gianna and Mia run toward the emergency stairwell. After a tense chase, they manage to get out of the mall and reach a highway, where they celebrate narrowly getting away. A short while later, Vivi and Nellie join them, and the four girls leave with the stolen items. Hours later, Mia returns home and tries to relax in the bathtub. However, she notices something strange about her feet. When she looks closely, she discovers that they have grown larger, and that her bones seem much more visible. Then her mother knocks on the door and asks what happened to the fish from the aquarium. To avoid revealing the truth, Mia says that she flushed it down the toilet for no apparent reason. Her mother demands an explanation, and in the middle of the argument, she ends up slapping her. Mia locks herself in her room and bursts into tears, completely confused by what is happening to her body. The next day, Michael wakes Mia up to take her to school. Mia worries that her father may have discovered what is happening to her feet, so she hides them under the sheets. But when she looks at them again, she discovers something even stranger. A layer of skin has started growing between her toes. On the way, Michael asks her why she flushed her mother's fish down the toilet. Mia can't come up with an explanation, so as punishment, her father forbids her from going on the trip to Conneland. Upset, Mia gets out of the car. However, instead of going to school, she decides to visit a clinic. There, she explains to the doctor that she feels like something is wrong with her body and shows her feet. The doctor tells her that she might have a condition that causes skin to grow between the toes, but also explains that it is something people are born with. Mia insists that everything only appeared the day before. The doctor examines her again, and noticing that the skin seems to be spreading, decides to order more tests. While they are drawing her blood, Mia notices the doctor looking worried as she talks on the phone. Fearing that they have discovered something strange about her body, the teenager panics and runs out of the hospital. After tripping in the street, Mia breaks down crying but eventually manages to calm herself down and returns home. There, she starts wondering if what is happening to her could be a family problem. She even begins to think that maybe she isn't really her parents' daughter. Her suspicions grow when she looks through the family photo albums and discovers that there are no pictures of Gabriella while she was pregnant. Mia asks her mother for an explanation, but Gabriella simply says that those photos are kept somewhere else. Mia insists and asks why she doesn't look anything like her parents, but Gabriella avoids answering and tells her to stop thinking about it and focus on her homework. Realizing she won't get any answers, Mia returns to her room and tries to distract herself with social media. There, she finds the profile of an older boy and, wanting to impress her friends, decides to meet up with him. The next day, she tells Gianna, Vivi, and Nellie, who accompany her to the meeting spot. The boy is waiting for her at a hotel, but the situation becomes awkward when he discovers Mia's real age. He also notices some strange marks beneath her socks and asks if she is hurt. When he tries to take a closer look, Mia gets angry and pushes him away. Embarrassed by what happened, she leaves the hotel and leaves her friends behind. She then runs to the mall and gets more products to try to hide the changes happening to her body. When she returns home, Mia tries to deal with the problem affecting her feet on her own. Although the process causes her intense pain, she manages to cover the wounds and puts her socks back on to hide everything. But the changes continue to worry her. So she decides to visit Roberto, one of her classmates, hoping to take her mind off things. When the boy sees her, he is surprised by her visit, but Mia looks for a moment alone with him. Deep down, she also wants to prove to her friends that she can get a boy's attention. The two end up sharing a romantic moment, although Mia isn't completely satisfied with the experience. Even so, she soon notices another change. During dinner, she devours a huge piece of meat in front of her parents without even stopping to think about what she is doing. Later, Mia meets up with Roberto and his friends at a stadium. They spend the night dancing and having fun. At one point, Mia tells her friends what happened between her and Roberto. The girls decide to ask the young man directly if it's true, and he confirms it, although he clarifies that there is nothing serious between them. Mia is disappointed by his answer, but she soon moves on and continues enjoying the night with her friends. The drinks don't take long to kick in, and Gianna is the first one to start feeling sick. Seeing her like that, Mia invites her to spend the night at her house. When they arrive at the apartment, they find Gabriella asleep in the bedroom and Michael resting on the couch. While they talk, Mia tells Gianna that her parents' marriage isn't going well and that they don't even sleep in the same room anymore. She also admits that she sometimes feels like she was adopted because she has nothing in common with her parents and feels like they never understand her. Gianna completely understands how she feels. After her parents' divorce, her mother moved to the United States and promised that one day Gianna would live with her. But 5 years have passed and Gianna is still waiting. Now she feels abandoned and is forced to live with a father who barely pays attention to her. In return, he lets her do practically whatever she wants. Mia also wants that kind of freedom, but her parents won't allow it. On top of that, Michael hasn't even signed the permission slip for her to go to Connelland. When Gianna hears this, she takes the letter and forges Mia's father's signature. This way, the two girls will be able to go on the trip together. The next morning, Mia's parents invite her to the wedding of Michael's boss. But the teenager refuses and says that she would rather stay home. Afterward, she introduces Gianna to her parents, although they don't seem very impressed by her behavior. Even so, they allow Mia to spend the day with her, unaware that the two girls are planning to sneak away on the school trip. When they board the bus, the teacher collects the permission slips and doesn't realize that Michael's signature is fake. Thanks to this, Mia and Gianna are able to meet up with Vivi and Nellie and begin their trip to Connelland. Before the bus reaches the park, Gianna shows her friends a prohibited substance that she has mixed into her soda bottle and convinces them to drink it. As expected, all four girls become completely dazed and spend their time watching the park visitors without doing much of anything. Then Mia runs into Roberto again. Even though she is dizzy, she calls him over so they can have another moment alone together. The two hide inside what appears to be a storage room, but Mia starts feeling sick and asks him to leave. Confused, Roberto leaves her alone. Mia runs to the bathroom, where she discovers something even stranger. When she lifts her shirt, she notices that her belly button has disappeared and that her legs are covered in dark spots. Desperate and still under the effects of the substance, the teenager collapses on the floor. A short while later, her friends find her and try to help. When they see the spots on her legs, Mia tries to downplay them and tells them to go back to the bus. When the trip is over, Mia returns home and finds her parents waiting for her. They already know what happened during the field trip and demand an explanation. Gabriella tries to get her daughter to talk to them, but Michael has already lost his patience and announces that he is going to send Mia to therapy. Not knowing how to explain what is happening to her, the teenager locks herself in her room. That night, a strong discomfort in her feet wakes her up again. Mia eventually falls asleep on the floor, and the next morning, she discovers several scales that have fallen off her legs. She quickly hides them under the bed and puts on a pair of pants so no one at school can see what is happening to her. But during class, the teacher asks the students to dissect a fish so they can study its organs. Mia tries to control herself, but the smell and the presence of the animal awaken the same urge she felt at home. She manages to hold out until the end of class, but once everyone leaves the room, she can no longer control herself and begins eating the fish. At that exact moment, Sophie walks by and catches her. Mia grabs her by the neck and warns her that she will regret it if she tells anyone what she saw. Frightened, Sophie runs away. Mia throws the fish off the table, horrified by her own behavior. When she leaves the classroom, she runs into Roberto, who asks if she is okay. Apparently, rumors about the spots on her legs have already spread throughout the school, and the boy is worried that Mia may have given him some kind of illness. Mia denies that anything is wrong with her and walks away. Outside, she finds her mother waiting for her in the car, and Gabriella takes her straight to therapy. During the session, the psychologist asks Mia to talk about what is worrying her the most. Mia tries to explain that she is experiencing strange changes in her body and fears that she might be turning into some kind of monster. She also believes that it could be something genetic, although she suspects that she may have inherited it from her real family, a family that might have abandoned her when she was little. The psychologist asks her to explain what is happening in more detail, but Mia doesn't dare tell her the whole truth and leaves the session. Afterward, she calls Gianna and asks her to come over. Mia is determined to find out whether she was really adopted. Taking advantage of the fact that no one is in the apartment, the two girls begin searching for documents that could reveal Mia's origins. During their search, Gianna finds some papers written in French, and Mia tries to translate them. But just then, Gabriella arrives home. She tells Gianna to leave and demands to know what her daughter was looking for. Mia tells her that she can't find any pictures of Gabriella while she was pregnant. Her mother doesn't give her an answer and simply scolds her for going through her things without permission. The mystery only increases the tension between them. Soon afterward, the day of Michael's boss's wedding arrives. Her parents invite Mia again, but she refuses once more and chooses to stay home alone. Hours later, while trying to distract herself by watching television, Mia feels another uncontrollable urge. This time, she devours the new fish in the aquarium without thinking twice. Seconds later, she receives a message from Gianna inviting her to a party. Mia immediately accepts, determined to forget about all her problems. At the party, she starts drinking more and more until she eventually collapses on the floor. But before losing consciousness, she sees Gianna in the middle of a lake with another boy. Suddenly, Gianna ends up in a deep area and begins to drown. Mia runs toward the water and jumps into the lake to save her. To everyone's surprise, the girl swims with incredible speed and ease. Not only does she manage to rescue Gianna, but she also helps her catch her breath. When the two girls return to the surface, everyone is amazed by how easily Mia managed to save her. Gianna tries to thank her, but Mia becomes nervous when she realizes that everyone is staring at her and runs back to the house. Once inside, she looks in the mirror and discovers something terrifying. Openings resembling fish gills have appeared on the side of her body. At the same time, the scales on her legs become harder and harder until she can no longer remove them. A short while later, Gianna finds her and discovers the marks on her leg. Worried, she asks what is happening to her and suggests that she see a doctor. But Mia becomes furious when she realizes that her friend has discovered her secret. She throws a bottle at her and orders her to leave. The next day, Mia decides to completely forget about her problems and attends another party. There, she drinks even more and practically ignores Gianna. At one point, she starts dancing on a table and catches the attention of the party's host, who takes her to a room to introduce her to his friends. Gianna realizes what is happening and rushes to stop them. She tells everyone to stay away from Mia because she is sick. Fearing that it could be contagious, the host and his friends try to figure out what is wrong with her. Then they see that Mia's leg is covered by a strange dark layer. Everyone becomes frightened, and Gianna tries to defend her friend, but Mia runs back home. She can no longer handle the changes or the pressure of hiding what is happening to her. Completely desperate, she hurts herself and ends up unconscious on the floor. The next morning, Mia wakes up and discovers something that confirms all her fears. Her legs have transformed into fins. The truth is finally revealed. Mia is actually a mermaid. When she was little, she got lost on a beach and was found by the people who would eventually become her adoptive parents. Still in shock over what she has just discovered, Mia begins to run out of air. Desperate, she rushes to the bathtub and turns on the faucets all the way. Before long, the water begins flooding the entire house. Mia calls Gianna for help and her friend quickly arrives. When she sees Mia, Gianna finally discovers the truth about her friend's real identity. However, instead of rejecting her, she decides to help. She takes Mia to her truck, and together they drive toward the ocean on the outskirts of the city. When they arrive, Mia borrows Gianna's phone and calls her parents. She is about to tell them the whole truth, but at the last moment she changes her mind and simply tells them that she will see them again soon. Afterward, the two friends reach the beach. Gianna asks Mia if she is afraid of what is about to happen. For the first time, Mia says no. Now she knows who she really is and where she belongs, even if discovering the truth means leaving behind the life she has always known. Gianna becomes sad when she realizes that she is about to say goodbye to her best friend, but Mia comforts her and assures her that they will see each other again someday. Finally, Mia dives into the ocean, and now a true mermaid returns to the place where she has always belonged.